Yeah, right, it's just like, what do we see from these two? How much has been adjusted? It's a real touching of base between both of them because, as said, I think there were some high hopes for these squads and we saw glimmers of it, but it certainly didn't amount to the results they would have been after. So they've had a little bit of downtime during Madrid, got to sit back at home and watch, a player's nightmare, and now we have to see what they've got here for us. Nat's already going to be checked on, the Paranoia going to slow the roll and give him a way out, but looks like Koi are pretty hell-bent on trying to get towards Heaven Control in this 3-2 split.
I like how Team Liquid abandoned that B Heaven setup. They didn't have the numbers to deal with it, and they re-aggressed towards the B main area here. As the map goes quiet, Koi actually just pumped a little bit, saw what was going on, didn't break the Cypher cam yet, though.
Shadow was surely mini-map moment there because he was absolutely befuddled. And this late-stage aggression, as you noted, that little B main kind of re-aggress, that space-taking, that reaction to losing Heaven Control opens up so much of an avenue. And look at the position that Koi have to work with. They need to fight back for some space. Be it CT, be it main, they need a little something. They don't have Heaven, so they've opted for CT. Looking like this is the challenge they're after, but it's already being considered. You can see the positioning coming out from Yampi. Perfect consideration, and a great bit of work from Yampi there. This is stunning. Stark's a great player himself, but way too many numbers. Josh, that was a beautiful round from TL.
And this is kind of like one of the things that, at least Koi, when they reflect on.
It looks like Liquid have turned up to play. A really good look in the first round, and being rewarded for that behavior will set you in motion. Early flash will connect.
Guys are down.
So, not really going to know how many, but certainly bodies are on this side of the map. And wait and see if there is that proactive approach. Obviously, a fine margin. Don't want to go too overboard, but that's a lot of information for Enzo there.
Yeah, it's great info, and Koi can't really do anything too aggressively here, but I think they don't... That's not their plan right now. Their plan right now is to kind of like work the econ a little bit, maybe get an opening pick here, and then see what they can go from there. They're not really heavily invested in this. They got 3 classics. They're just biding their time and seeing how many mistakes Liquid can make. And as we pointed out, they have a tendency to overheat.
They certainly do. Let's see if that's been worked on. Is that composure now key along Team Liquid? Yampi maintaining control, but a quick slip through the vents. This then kind of pours in. Kiko, see what he can do here. Should be able to hold off quite well. Yep, does do good damage and dips away. Gonna make them work for their dinner. And there's no easy kills coming in here for Koi.
30 seconds.
Yeah, and what's happening, though, is that we're seeing Liquid right now. They have to back up, and they're giving so much space and respect. They have to give this space and respect. But what that means is over on A side, it's just Nats there between them and the site. If they're able to get into Nats, kill him, and get the spike planted, that's a really good eco round.
10 seconds. Can they cause any sort of chaos? Maybe a plant? Plant is going to go in, and 1 kill to boot. That's about it. I mean, it's not ideal. Nats handled the pressure well. Diffuse going to come in. I mean, but as said, for Koi, they weren't expecting wonders. They weren't expecting miracles. It was more just get a grip of the map, see what they can work out, see what they... Liquid. And again, I'm kind of eyes on Liquid here as well, just to see if they have something in mind on this kind of, bonus round that they're left on. A little bit of a repurchase here and there, but Nats didn't particularly invest heavily. So again, trying to keep that money building in the best way possible.
I'm really liking what Liquid did here at the start. They put the pressure over towards B main early. They forced Koi away, and now they're re-aggressed into a mid-fight. There are all 4 people here playing retake A, going into this mid-aggression here. A little bit ill-timed.
A little off kilter. Camo lucky to be alive, but still standing. This kind of plays in Nats. This is a lot on his shoulders again. He only has a ghost, so this isn't one of the rounds you're expecting him to pop off, but can he buy a couple of seconds?
Cage trigger.
Can Koi keep this clean? All rifles, you want to see those carried forward. Already site going to be cleared, so they know that they can ferry across the spike. That should be going down any second. Looks like that's the case. Any sort of naughtiness from Liquid is what we're looking for now. Not a great deal to play with, and very tricky to pressure this back in. Still a flash in the dog on Enzo. A little bit of kit, not a great deal.
There.
I like what Liquid's doing.
Yeah.
They're not rushing into anything. They're clearing everything. They clear the vents. They're looking for any lurkers. They're going to clear the ramp together. They know that this round might very well be lost. What they're doing is they're seeing if Koi makes any mistakes, they're going to take their time. If they have an opportunity, they're going to go for it. But at the worst case, it's a bonus round. They don't care. They're just going to, if they make all of Koi die to the spike here, that's a win.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You could already see him trying to escape through CT. Enzo going to grab another. That's Scorino down. And this is actually getting a little bit costly. And again, these are rifles they were losing. Luckily, Shados is a safe pair of hands, but that's just 2 standing. Make it...
Doing something like super aggressive every round. They've been they've been changing it up enough, though, that they can kind of have this first stage, this first phase of what's going to happen. Then when Koi does something, okay, we're going to do this other thing. So right now, we're seeing this push into B main. They're going to have all the info here that, hey, nothing's going on over here. Here's the timing and the Omen. They're going to be posted up. And by the time that Garbino peeks out again.
But how much information do they get from that? Again, it is a play for control. They do get to kind of put the banner towards B main, make them work if they want to try and retake that space. But you can already see the lean. They're starting to go over towards events. This has been a pressure point. This is not subtle. And 2 players will be in response. Mystic being one, Nats the other. Already see the drift coming through from Yampi as well, considering is it times now put a lot more stock into this, and it looks like that may be the case. Again, caution being aired by Koi. Nats play. Oh my, what just happened? Camo's gonna find 2, and that is a fumble and a half. And it's rare to see that from Nats. Really unexpected. Enzo is almost played out of this round. It's gonna require a 1v3, incredibly difficult. Plant being put down now. Grabino just lost somewhere in the map, basically. He can't pin these players down. It's time to look for a save here. What the hell just happened?
You know, this is a great example of a round where you do so many things right, and it still doesn't work out. You still lose the round. So what did we see that was right from Team Liquid? Well, they got the aggression onto B main. They took it on the timing once Koi started putting pressure on mid. They got the info on the Omen. They had a really good setup towards A ramp, where basically all this aggression towards B and B heaven is going to funnel all of the Movistar's Koi players through the vents into A heaven, and that's where Cypher and Omen are playing together. They're not playing one site, one heaven. They're not, you know, split up or anything like that. They're not trying to hold the site even. They're just trying to lock down one specific area, and that's A heaven. Yeah. And if Nats gets that kill, it's like we're having a completely different conversation. So I think the setup in itself was...
They are now so close to some of those key ultimates coming online as well. That's massive for them.
Another new setup here for the defense side of Team Liquid. But with just the one Phantom, they're really trying to leverage that right now. So they're playing a 2-1-2 setup here. And as soon as they get info on the extremities, they're instantly moving to middle. They know that that next action is going to be at middle, and they want to be there, ready to fight with the Flash, with the Phantom, with maybe even popping the Raze Rocket here. Good bait out from Koi, though.
Yeah, Koi managing to evade past the paranoia being posted. Enzo did take a swing, so they should be able to start identifying where that one rifle is. Not fully aware of the rest, obviously, you see what they've gone for, but I mean, the money tells you quite a lot. At this point, they're already starting to peel away. Koi having to respect this. Again, they did lose B main control early. That adjusted setup could be quite telling here. Don't know about the timing on this one. Camera does get removed, which does give Nats at least an idea, but they've bought a lot of time. They're down to about 40 seconds now for Koi. Looking for that re-hit. They still have a lot of utility to play with, and now middle control.
This is a bit tough. They took a read, they did a gamble stack on A, and that's a good call. Like, making a call, just
30 seconds
picking
left.
the 50-50, you might catch them, they might go into you, and that's exactly what you want, but the rifle's not with them right now. The rifle was trying to solo the B site, so here comes the A hit.
Do they get any benefits? Camo already going to clear Mystic. There are still 2 players here. Another spotted and another taken down. The gamble stack not really working out, as they did lose Enzo in the meantime, so that's a rifle gone and cleared cleanly. Koi navigating this space very well.
Yeah, and I think hats off to Koi on that round for having the understanding of the awareness that they need to do a pump set at middle. They didn't go straight into a trap. They didn't go and just say, like, okay, the first time we use an ability, we're going up here. They did a breach flash into vent.
Koi likes to take his through that vent, slicing up middle. Garino already noting the players over towards B main. There's no subtlety towards this. But if anything, it just encourages Koi to head this way, putting a lot of pressure in Kiko's hands. How much he's going to be able to achieve here. Shados' timing could be devastating. Stunning shot on the first. Nats does get to keep his life, but still. Oh, the ult as well on top. Nats survive, already being pinched here. Player left, right, and center. He goes down. Again, this is the pressure, though. Mystic still amongst them. In a lot of danger here. Has to swing, and Koi so heads up in their clear. And that's going to be another save here. There's no chance they're going to bring that operator in for this one. And I've got to give credit, again, Koi looking like they're very aware of what Liquid wants to do. They've identified that very early on now.
Yeah, they look like they have a lot of layers in their attack, but I think that's nothing new from them. Like, we saw this all throughout kickoff, that they had really good initial game plans, and they really knew how to play into their agent pool. They knew their win conditions. They knew how to play the maps to a certain degree. But where they falter is kind of in the mid-rounds if they lose a player early and then also going into the second half on defense. So I don't want to like hold my breath right now and be like, oh my God, is this like a new revamped team or not? Because like this is what we come to expect of them on their attacks. But I do like the layers that they have to their attack. They're taking the map in stages. They're doing some misdirection, some pumps. So they're pumping towards A, but then they're ending towards B. They're keeping a lot of map control, and they understand now that Liquid's trying to be aggressive and get in their faces. And right here, we saw them punish it with this nice regroup. What I didn't like what I saw from Liquid there is that Mystic came all the way from A all the way to B, but he just kind of like started standing around, like walking around with no real. He was able to get closer to B main earlier. Maybe he could have used like, his Omen Flash to get into market to help keep.
Rifles coming out. They've got enough to fashion a buy here. Not missing too much kit and looking to maybe playing Kiko on this.
Don't block the dog.
Gonna have the info and has the angle. That's big. Nice pick there at the start. Shadow going down might make this a little trickier to take those sites.
Yeah, and I really don't like actually how Koi's been holding onto all these ults for so long. I feel like they've had them for a few rounds now, and now they've just stacked up 3, and now they don't even get to use one of them. So not a great usage of the ultimates, and credit to Team Liquid. That was a really good play. The Sky getting wide, then popping the boom bot, and then trying to bait out with the dog, the peaks into the Opper, and that happened. They got their man advantage, they backed off of the setup, but now here comes the B site hit.
Yeah, Camo gonna take down Enzo. This now has to depend on the likes of Kiko to do some damage here, but already you can see the threat that he's under, and Camo's gonna take down Kiko. This is now a problem. A player to the good, sight somewhat under control. Ult's now being layered into this. This is going to take a great deal of work for Liquid to try and dismantle. Nats through heaven. I don't see where they find this access point. They don't have the B main control. They don't have a lurk in this one. It's going to need an individual to try and stand up to task. Yes, Camo a little low, but that's about it. Nats starting to show position here, trying to clear. Oof, close, but no cigar on this.
Looks like they're about to save, maybe?
I mean, they've got to call it soon, right? Yeah,
they're out.
That's it. Mystic going for a repeat on that. A little dangerous and a little risky with the operator. Prized possession at this point, but again, another save for Liquid here. They just haven't been able to deal with that frontline Koi. Starting to really get into the swing of things.
Yeah, I mean, it looked so good for Team Liquid at the start of the round there, too. They got that opening pick. I was, you know, in the middle of saying, like, oh, look, at the way they did this with the Sky baiting for the Opper. They gave the pick, they got out, they were able to...
What's the sight?
Koi has the Breach ulti, though, for this post-plant. And that's going to be really scary for Liquid. They know that as soon as they start trying to do something, it's going to come out. They can't all get caught by it.
Looking at where Shadow's placing, it looks towards heaven. First bit of contact comes in, but Koi clearing house, still leaving a couple of players here to capitalize on the ult. By the time, yes, Mystic wins out, but they're already down to 2. One being the operator. Looks like another round the Liquid are gonna have to fall away from. Koi, these site takes are great. To be fair, they're great. They're looking well-rounded, but there's nothing beyond expectation. They are playing a good game, but Liquid need to get a grip on this now because the game's about to start falling away. Nice shot, but it doesn't really matter. Rifle gone. And at this point, there's financial reasons to chase.
Yikes.
That's not good.
That's not good at all. And, you know, just looking at Team Liquid, and then what Koi does is they just walk up B main, they run into the site for free because Team Liquid's playing the retake. They're not expecting that.
Yeah, this is going to be now an uphill struggle. Of course, Liquid having to respect the financial position they're in, opting for just the Sheriffs and some...
Right there.
I mean, I say some Sheriffs. I think it's just one at this point, and that's about it. So Liquid need to figure this out fast, otherwise Koi going to just start walking away with this game. Credit to Koi for playing well, but as I said, those opportunities slipping between the fingertips here for Liquid.
I wonder, with that info that there's a player in vent, are they going to pump again like they did in the previous round and just throw a flash, throw anything to find out, hey, are Team Liquid still here? If they are, maybe we see the Sky Flash and the Raise Nade coming out right away, and then we could just like run to the other site. And right now, we saw that disengage from Koi. They kind of gave up middle. They let Team Liquid take a peek, see nothing. Now Team Liquid's moving to that spot. Honestly, so many good things from Koi right now.
Yeah, this is actually very impressive to witness. Feeling the pace of the game perfectly, kind of got Liquid wrapped around their little finger. And they're going to hear this. That is audible. They're going to note the rotation towards that A site. They've made a misread. I mean, if you're Liquid, you do have to take a gamble. There is part of that. But again, You got to give credit here to Koi. This wasn't just a random bit of luck. They're double pump in middle, that kind of, as you said, that quiet disengage, falling away, letting them re-clear, seeing nothing, and then going for the gamble stack on A. And to be fair, in one of the previous rounds, Koi did go for that A hit as well, so it may be an educated guess, but credit to Koi in this for reading it and really playing this to the best of their capability. And really, at this point, what are you meant to do?
It's like that martial arts stuff where you kind of like use your opponent's momentum against them, so you like flip them on their backs, whatever. That's what Koi is doing to Liquid right now. They understand how Liquid's playing their defense right now with all the proactivity and kind of like re-clearing areas and pushing for info. And right now, what they're doing is, hey, you're going to do this. I understand that, so I'm going to let you clear it. Think that it's clear. You're going to over-rotate, over-react to the other site, and then we're going to be able to like walk into a free site.
Yep. And even this gets messy again. Keep in mind the finances behind Koi are very robust. Yes, Liquid will take it, but
Enemy remaining.
it's not really, going to matter in this point. Koi, comfortable. 7 rounds to the name after what looked like a great start from Liquid. A lot of key things we were taking. We're going, okay, this looks good. Late round re-clearing aggression starting.
But I mean, we need to see better ulti economy from I would say both teams. I saw more value from Koi, especially with that fade ulti into B site on that one round, the Raze Rocket entry as well. I think there's been good moments there, but Team Liquid's not had good value out of their ults.
Okay. Nats last time didn't have a great start into this. Going to need him to do a little better here. Normally noted for it. Enzo already falling. Isolates. It leaves Nats on an island. Does have support from CT and a great shot. Going to alleviate some of that pressure coming through, but now Nats goes re-exploring. This time he's got it. Clears out Camo and now controls the space. Spike now left in a bit of a predicament as well. But again, look at this positioning from Koi. They're in CT. This could be a re-clear. It's almost a switch of sides at this point. You know, no paranoia to play with, maybe waiting on the smoke to come back around here and just pausing for a second. TP.
Yeah, I think he was going to grab the spike with that.
I don't think that was a good enough trade here. Now down to a 2v2. They've got to know that Nats was still around by sight. That's not a surprise. I don't know if they've had contact on Yampi yet, probably. But what can Shadow and Shados do? Nats goes walking and gets the timing just right. Spike does go back to hand, but with 15 seconds, it's limited options here for Shadow, and Yampi was catching the cross, and he catches the player. Liquid levying the score a little bit here, bringing back to touch. That was a nice sight hold from them.
Yeah.
Prowler handled. Do they commit to this? You've got the extremities being held still on either side of the map, so looking like they do want to put pressure towards mid. This should be
Drop it.
Kiko's moments, and a missed shot. Camo gonna find it, and that's a problem now. Mid looking far more vulnerable.
There.
Plenty more options. Had to use a little bit of utility to clear through, but they're still gonna be happy enough, and this is a problem. Yampi! No way! Mystic went down, and Yampi survived, and maybe the survivor's guilt was enough. Eventually, Shadow's gonna find him, but it's Nats and Enzo with a late look through middle, and Shados all too aware of that. Leaving Nats, who's normally on that A site, behind the curve.
You don't need to have that much awareness to deal with someone shooting like that, though.
Cruelty, Josh.
30 seconds left.
Again, sights theirs. Nats can quietly come over here, but he's found. It was a bit of a feeble attempt at the end there. I mean, it felt like it was all based around that operator finding value. As soon as it doesn't, it crumbled.
Yeah, I think they had a lot of good things going there. Getting just mixing up the difference between going with the Sky's info, with the flash, with the dog, with the peek, and then sometimes the Sky's on the opposite side of where the opper is, so that you don't know if it's the Sky setting up the op by getting direct info or indirect info. Oh, the Sky's...
Koi just being aggressive in this. I mean, they do have rounds to play with, and they have cleared one. But again, you look on the other side of the map, the spike should be going down. We are in a 3v3 here. Enzo's position. Feast or famine. Does he get what he wants from this? Do they even clear it? They're considering it. They absolutely do. But Enzo succeeds. Big work from Enzo there. And that's going to give Team Liquid a chance in this.
And I think
the aggression putting high priority towards B main control. Going to get the ult orb, but going to lose out on one on the way. Again, they are working with classics, and that's about it. So not really looking for too much here. Already probably got what they wanted, at least with the ult orb. Can they do some more damage, though? Potentially force a little bit more of a repurchase for Liquid. Plenty of players on the right side for now, at least, but I wonder if Liquid continue on this pathing.
I like how Liquid's right now is... They didn't do a good job of this on defense, was getting an advantage and then keeping that advantage. And I think right now, that's what they're trying to focus on and let Koi kind of make the next mistake. And this is something that Koi did really well against Liquid in the first half. And that's another thing that, you know, is Koi going to bite? Are they going to over-rotate? Are they going to peek for info and then run into Team Liquid right now? And it looks like that's actually happening.
Yeah, being rewarded for their patience here. They're going to find Starkzo in middle. Now, there is a lot of players on this side, but again, Weapon should outdo it, and it does. Team Liquid, very well approached, very well rounded. This looks good. This could be a game on our hands.
We're seeing a lot of Liquid showing up. It's not just one player here or there. It's like everyone's kind of showing up. You know, a couple of bad missed shots from, you know, Nats on that one round. That was a pretty pivotal round that probably cost a couple of rounds. But it's like they're all kind of, they're not really overheating except for that Yampi one round, for example.
Not the ideal start for Kiko there. Looking to pressure towards Heaven early, but they have managed to slip the net a touch. Yampi, get a position deeper towards a cubby on the back of B, but again, let's see if Koi are even considering this. The paranoia just around the corner is actually going to clip towards Nats, but it plays in Yampi. A little bit of a surprise there, creeping up with the wall. Yampi again looking to re-aggress. Nice timing from Mystic to swing. That's lovely coordination between the two, but it's still Shadow and Starzo. There is still pressure in this, and there are 2 rifles up for grabs. They've got a couple of upgrades here as well. Mystic makes the most of his. This is ideal. This is a fantastic round. As Starzo, his options are done here. I don't think you get to play back into this.
No, when you're against a bonus round like this and you're in a 1 versus 3, you have to save that.
You're out.
You got to, because like we're getting really close to an Enzo ulti, for example. But the thing that I really liked here is, and it's something that we should point out about, you know, if you just look at something by the numbers and just look only at the stats, right there, it's like Kiko went out mid, he died, but he got a lot of info, created a lot of space, and that let his teammates walk out onto B site. Nats got all the way to the back, or Yampi got all the way to the back of the site there, and then what happened is they dropped the wall and they're able to have this crossfire, and Koi's getting pinched from 2 different angles. They let the B walkout happen, and it was all on the backs of like Kiko's sacrifice, basically. He didn't get to get any kills or rewards or, you know, praise for that. So I'm going to do that right now for him.
What a nice guy. I'm a little worried about this though, but how much does Starkzo get? He is chomping at the bit here, and the reveal is dangerous. Starkzo, can he live? Can he survive? He's still here. He's got to back away from this. Already finding value is great. You don't need to overdo this one. Nat's looking to try and even the odds, but this is so dangerous from both sides.
Yeah, and we're going to see this actual mid activation happening coming through the vents. They're going to be able to get the crossfire and the backstep onto A Heaven here.
Oh, Yampi, yeah, beautiful work. The timing was excellent. You saw the pause over towards main, waiting for them to clear through from Heaven. It's a great recovery from Liquid after there was genuine threat and danger. The last player remaining, Rubino, not going to have any play this round. Very well maintained by Liquid there. You could see the idea from Koi, but again, that pressure in Heaven clearing back through, not falling too foul to Starkzo's, I guess, attempt towards main.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that, well, I had a few things written down for Team Liquid here, and part of it was like what their strengths were was their individual skill, the overheating, and
step up and show if they've made those adjustments that maybe we liked with Liquid, but can Koi do something similar where they kind of, I guess, relieve us of any of those worries from that kickoff side, which as I think we're being very honest about this, but neither of these teams would have been happy with their kickoff results. I think that's a very obvious sentiment, but still, coming back into this Liquid, be taken towards middle to begin with.
I think we're starting to see the issue with Koi's defense here with their composition. They don't have a sentinel here to get the passive info to kind of like lean on certain places so they can gamble fight and get real value with this breach stun. So right now it's a hit and it's a miss. They don't have a turret to get triggered. They don't have a camera. They don't have trip wires. They don't have alarm bots. Without that, they have to spread out. We see, you know, over on A, the Fade now has to use a Prowler to get info. Sees nothing immediately. Maybe she can get on a deeper line. But then Omen's sitting here holding B all by himself as well. So all the focus is on middle right now, but again, it's just like they're way too spread apart, they're way too split off, they don't have any map control, but it doesn't matter, there's 30 seconds left. Here comes the big hit. We do see the Fade getting the deep line off of that mid fight, so maybe it's going to be a hit onto the B site and they're going to have enough people here. We're going to have to see.
Rubino, this is a lot of pressure in your hands. You got to find a little bit of value, and he does. Kiko goes down, and he holds the line. Now they can start flooding back in from Heaven. 13 seconds. Liquid leaving this so late in the day, but Mystic on the bailout, Nats on the follow-up. They need a plant, though, and they need it now. They got to secure this. They got to get it down. Spike's down, but so are the rest of the side. Nats the only one standing in a 1v1. Ult going to come through, looking like Quake, but already Stark's going to reveal his position. Going to drop on down, and now there's problems. Oh, with that. Oh.
That was nasty. That was dirty. I like it, though.
I missed you, Josh. You know, Mike
How's it
doesn't
going?
do this to me. He's, you know, he's so clear-cut. He's a good boy. You've come in and just gone, I like it dirty. Nice one.
Well,
Well.
one in Germany. So
Bergheim later.
I love how, like, so many people would start freaking out with, like, 12 seconds left on the clock, and you're like, oh my god, there's 12 seconds left. It only takes 4 seconds to plant the spike, or whatever, you know, roughly. So you don't have to stress out in those situations, and part of the reason why those situations work is that Oi's going to be in positions that they can't really get great fights. They're going to be swarmed and overwhelmed, and they're going to be out of abilities. So Team Liquid, one of the things I really like doing is kind of like these practice drills where it's like, okay, this practice game, we're not going to do anything but hitting in the last 20 seconds just so we can get comfortable with being on low time and being able to still get into the site, get the spike planted, and do all this stuff without freaking out, without overextending, without just like peeing our pants, basically.
Yeah. Are you telling me that scrim bucks aren't as important as everyone makes out? That's crazy.
You should be playing to get better, not playing to win. Scrims, yes.
Crazy you said that. Reddit in shambles. Maybe the analyst does too, not ours. NAs. At this point, let's see if any more naughtiness can come out of Koi. I mean, they've done a little bit of damage early on. They had to do something. You're working with bits and pieces. And actually, Gravino's found a bit of a problem here. Gets the TP back away, and he's got lovely little upgrade too. Shados now in a key position. Look at this. Playing in so perfectly. They made a mountain out of a molehill, and Mystic and Enzo are in tatters. Enzo looking to try and recover. He does well to find two, but this now is down to Mystic. He's got to do so much.
He gets a stun on the breach, gets a spike.
Hello, what is going on here? This is rotten to witness, and Starkzo's only got a frenzy, but 11 seconds ain't a great deal to play with, but you've told me it only takes 4 to plant, so it's not a problem. Mystic now, what do you do with this? You've got to commit to this one. And he does, oh dearie me. That is heart-wrenching.
Well, his teammates come from the back, and then he can pinch with them in like 5-10 seconds from them. But then he goes out too early, he overheats. And this is the prime Liquid issue that they had all of kickoff, and that's what you hope to see them fix. So why is it so uncoordinated and disjointed and
Yeah, that's gonna be, you know the coaches are kicking themselves too. You know they're sat there and they've seen that and they're just devastated. Again, it happens, but you don't want it around like that. And wow, how did that not find a player? I mean, look at the damage, but it doesn't really matter at this point. Heal's gonna come out, yeah. So Enzo being alive even on 6 HP is so valuable. Nats is back to breathing. Starkzo trying to catch anyone on the cross, doesn't quite get what he wants here.
You asked me why I don't want to coach, and it's like that previous round. That's why.
That's exactly why.
I mean, it's hard enough as an IGL when that happens. It's like, oh man.
Don't do this to me. But at this point, I mean, what do Liquid have here? They've got Heaven control, they've got a little bit of a step towards A, but there is still 3 players here. This is a lot to handle. Mid is out of the question, it looks like, at least for now. Maybe they want to test this, but that Viper's Pit is going to be holding. This is hard to clear. Looks like they're going to go back towards this A hit. But the problem is, look at Cameron's position. I kind of like this, going late lurking, but again, Nats gets rewarded. That's better. That's what he wanted probably in the previous round, but this patience pays, and now they're rewarded towards Heaven. There's 1 player on the site. How much damage can one man do? These late round hits now starting to become a factor. Shadow trying to buy the time, but gets cleared. They should be fine on the plant. There shouldn't be anything to threaten this. The pit drops in middle. Everything looking good here for Liquid now. They've stabilized.
And stabilization is, it's like one of those things where it sounds super obvious and easy to pull off, but it's one of those things where when you're in the moment and all this chaos is happening, it's so hard for people to realize, like, hey, we can just, like, even though we're kind of like out in the open, we can just chill for a second and let things simmer, and then maybe something happens in our way. And I think one of the things that was really cool here from what Liquid did this round was they put the pressure on the Viper from vents and from the bottom of the middle at the same time. They were like spraying to the smoke. And because of that, it kind of made Koi think like, oh, hey, like the Viper's getting pressured. Maybe it's they're going to go towards B. It gave a lot of space towards A. A lot of abilities were used. And then, yeah, Team Liquid was able to move up into the site again. There's like 8 seconds left as they sprayed the smoke. They got the kill on the site. They're able to get the plant with like 1 second left. But that's all you need. All you need is 1 second. So if you're going to bait out all this utility, which you have to do, there's nades, there's mollies, there's smokes, there's stuns, there's aftershocks, flashes, everything. So why not like bait it out? It's going to take a while.
Yeah, it's... I get nervous when that 18th round just gives me like flashbacks. That it's all going to go wrong after that, that they're just going to start, you know, that doubt comes in. But this is a really big course correction. Probably puts them right back to believing in the plan for Liquid. For Koi, Fun's going to be running a little lower. No big ults nearby apart from Starkzos. I mean, that could be critical, but again, they've got a lot of work to do in front of them here.
We've seen other teams use the Viper ulti really kind of like creatively. They'll get into an area, they'll pop it in like, you know, to cut off middle or a rotation point or something like that. We've seen Yampi sitting on his ulti for a few rounds, not using it really anywhere, anytime. Yeah, they've been planning with like 2 seconds left, so like when are you going to use it in a post plant? Like all the kills have already been decided by then. But to not kind of have like any creative way of using it as a fake or using it to create an opening or be able to secure all of middle so you could do this like, kind of like ping pong back and forth thing. We're not seeing any of that, but we're going to see a full A hit, but a decent read from Koi?
Potentially. Does Starkzo get to live? No, no is the question. It was a very quick execution. Now Heaven's being flooded, good damage, but no kill. Again, Nat's getting maybe a little ahead of himself there. Maybe didn't need to take that fight individually. A deeper hit from Yampi, please.
He waited for it to come up before he peeked. Okay.
There we go. We're
learning.
changing, we're learning, we're growing. Mystic waiting as well. There is a very clear choke point. Now they're going to force the hand to make them go through Heaven. And look at the space being taken behind them. I like this. Mystic and Yampi considering it. Spray comes in, but it's not going to connect. So now they've got to try and take that space back from Heaven. They're going to fly towards the side. Actually, Callow doing really well. Clears through. Ult comes in. May not be pretty, but it gets the job done. Shadow and Shados not in a position to do wonders. Yampi going walkabouts. Expecting the unexpected. Shados down on 10 HP. Miracles aren't happening, and Team Liquid is up to 11 now. Almost rewarded early on there. Starkzo got to be very cautious here.
Yeah, we see the Fade ultis online for him. He's down to 20 health. He almost died there. Like, why are you even trying to play 1 versus 5 on the site? You're going to lose it. And then you don't even have the Fade ulti for the retake. So, good decision here. He peels out. He's going to go and switch weapons and, you know, get a little Bogdan Law going in, kind of.
That's a throwback to about 4 people, remember? Thank you for that one.
No, I think everyone no one forgets that.
Do you think so? That iconic. Well,
it's like a help sewer moment there, kind of.
Let's see if Starkzo can get value for this ult though, right? Like hindered at the start. Is anyone there to capitalize on this though? I mean, a little bit of information, but closing that gap. What are you going to do with it? Where is the value of this? Like,
There's 3 people on the site though.
Guys, they're on the side that they planted at. Enzo, yeah, there has been no ability to close down on this ult. Enzo is going to be under a lot of pressure, but it plays in Mystic. Does very well here. Bails out Enzo to get away and then re-aggress. Goes back for more and can't make the most of it. Shadow levies this down to a 2v3, favorable to Koi. The HP is low. It's on Nats now, and that's good. He needs more, though. Knows the Starzo's up there. He's got such a good read on it, trying to toy with him, but now time is a problem. 6 bullets to play with. Oh my word! And he's done it! He forced Shadow off the spike, and that just needs to play this properly. And oh my, wait! Did he go too early? No, he didn't. Nats plays it to the second. Looks a little like it. But 12-9. Again, if we're taking pause here, if we're taking stock, Koi only managing 1 round really on this half. This has not been a pretty half for them. Plagued with issues, and Liquid looking good on the attack. Coming back into this, the buy is there, but Grabino already taken a boatload of damage, and maybe just a spam through middle connecting, but they're trying to be proactive. And again, it's on Nats here. Told you, feast or famine. What can he do this time? Still gonna find 1. Still takes down 1. And he's gonna get, I don't know how much he saw there. Probably enough, but again, they've already got side control. That should be telling in itself.
And this is, again, coming back to the limitations of Koi's defense. Because of their composition, you know, they let Liquid walk into B-side for free, and now they're all the way deep in spawn, and they're jamming this. They're jamming the retake. There's no chance for Koi.
Yeah, offsetting that timing. Yampi pressuring back through was just gorgeous. Where are you off to?
It's last round.
Where are you off to? There's nowhere to run. You got to face it. 13.